Welcome everyone to this new format, a podcast named Flow Experiment for now, because this is kind of an experimental stage, at least for me. Who am I? Andy, amazing coach. I learned a lot of flow and living my own rhythm during my travels through Thailand, and got inspired to share what I learned and what I do because I noticed that people are interested and people actually want to live in their natural rhythm and be their true self somehow, which I do, which probably my guest does as well. Um, our topic for today is what if success even isn't about pushing harder, but moving more and fully aligned with your natural rhythm and your true self. For me, for the podcast, we have a special guest. He's the Transformer. Um, Actually, he just got the nickname from himself. Let's welcome Matt. Matt Zimmermann. Happy to be here. Happy to have you. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Nice to be here, and yeah, let's see where we go with that today.
Beautiful. Do you want to introduce you, like in some quick words, sentences?
Yeah,
Who are you?
sure.
What do you do?
Yeah, my name is Matt Zimmermann. I'm from beautiful Switzerland, and I help people to reach their goals, transform their dreams into reality, and just be their best self.
Beautiful. We have kind of a journey together, actually. I think we met like 5 or 6 years ago. Became good friends, good brothers also. Learned a lot through each other, and I'm really grateful that you are here and that you are my first actually guest in this podcast or in this format.
What a honor!
Absolutely. We discussed before, since I was preparing this episode and like didn't really have a topic to talk about, and was questioning what is actually the intention doing this. And I found out during this day because in the morning I was like, oh shit, this podcast is coming up and I don't really have an idea what to do and what to tell. Do we have enough to talk about? Um, so I was kind of frustrated and anxious and also a little shy. But as we do know now, we do it anyways, and we're gonna post this online. We're gonna share it, and no matter no matter what. And I think that's also like the topic for today, to push ourselves out of our comfort zones every day. At least that's what I realized works best for me. To actually grow and to become more of ourselves, because we have all this kind of fears and different stuff going on in our heads. You say before the dragons. You want to explain what you mean by the dragons?
Dragons. For me, the dragons is a metaphor for just like big thoughts that seem to be very powerful and scary. And it's just thoughts, and they're just there and screaming at you sometimes, telling you to stay safe and stay comfortable. But in the end, it's just thoughts, and you can just accept them and, like you said, do it anyway.
What would you suggest to people who are like really, really scared of those dragons and like kind of feel, oh, I cannot deal with them? Maybe how do you do it?
Just to always remember that it's not real. They're not real. They're, I mean, in the end, you can change them, the thoughts, and you don't have to be a victim to them. You don't have to, yeah, really do everything and believe everything they tell you to do and believe. So this
And
helps me.
how do you do that?
you just remember that the thoughts are like flexible. You can choose the thoughts. It's not the thought is not something that happens to you and that has to. It's not something that controls you. It's better to realize that you can take command and control your thoughts. And sometimes it's important to just let them go, let them flow, like having clouds in the sky. They come, they pass. Better ones follow, worse ones follow sometimes. So it's just like something that, um, I mean, if you do like meditation, it's just being more and more in the observer position where you just realize I am not my thoughts.
Yeah.
So I'm the observer of these thoughts. So I can be more distanced. I get distance. So the thoughts are not what I identify too much with. It's just something that it just is. I can just observe it, give it meaning or not as I choose.
But I think that that needs some practice, right? Or do it like, okay, just stop the thoughts or observe.
Practice is a good word. I love that. Practice. I think everything that you want to master or to get better even at, it's good to have a practice and to practice it. And with observing, being present or meditate, as you want to call this being here and now, it takes some practice, I think, to to even to even make the experience
Mhm.
because most people are just running around with chicken without a head, reacting to everything that is happening in their life. They never come to this moment where they just stop, take a step back, and observe it. What's happening here in my life? And I think this is the first step that you have to do. And maybe then do it more often and yeah, create a practice around it. I love that.
Beautiful. So first you go like take a step back to observe it, and then you actually practice it time on and time on. And what I experienced so far, because I have a lot of experience meditation too and other things, at, at the beginning you suck. Mostly you are pretty bad. Some can do it better, some can do it worse, but in the beginning you have to learn a lot of stuff, which I think is with every topic you're going new. So you don't know anything, you learn, you adapt, you make errors, you have failures, you go again, and that's the way how you actually learn it, not by thinking about it. That's also why we're doing this podcast right now, because to act on it, to go with it, and even in some years maybe to look back and see each other and what the fuck have we done then? What kind of bad we were.
Yes.
And I have to say now that we are talking, it feels like more natural and not that kind of strange anymore. So the dragon was bigger than it actually is. And when you say dragons, I want to come back to that because I remember a movie scene where it was like, so the movie was about a girl like dreaming, and when she was dreaming, she kind of went to another place, to another world, and she had to do some stuff there. And there was this big monster, like a octopus out of mist, and it was screaming and it was loud, and it was following them and hunting them all through the movie. And they were looking for like small pearls to kind of get back to the real world. And in the end, they run away from that monster. And at the last moment, the little girl like faced it, and was like, "No, I'm not gonna run away anymore." And so the monster attacked her, and then nothing happened. It was just smoke going away
Yeah.
all the times.
Mm. It's a good story, man.
I like that. Yeah, it's kind of like the dragons.
Yeah. It's like when fear knocks on your door, open up and realize there's no one there.
I don't know the English word, but in German it's called Klingelstreich. So when someone randomly rings the bell and then runs away, that's an actually fun one to remember. Beautiful. Um, you're the master of identity shift.
Am I?
I think so. You're pretty decent. Um, how can you use like identity shifts to face your fears and face what scares you?
Wow, that's a good question. I think we have to start with identity itself to talk about the identity shift. So, what is our identity? The identity is simplified, is what you identify yourself with. Your identity, what am I identifying myself with? And I mean, it starts with the most basic question that we humans experience is that's who are you? Who do you think you are? What comes when you ask yourself this question, or when I ask you this question? So most of the people would answer, "Ah, yeah, I'm me. I am, yeah, Joe Doe." So Joe Doe is just a name. So what are you behind the name? So then some people already get confused when you ask, what what are you behind there? I mean, they never really ask this themselves. So they
Hmm.
think they name, some people say, ah, that's me. So after the name, they come to the body. They say, that's me. That's so. Then I tell them, no, that's your body. That's not you. I mean, you say it's your body. So it's your body, it's your name, it's your thoughts, it's your feelings. But who are you? Who is the owner of this name, of this body, of these thoughts, of these feelings, and who are you? Then most people get mind fucked and they run away.
Been there, done that.
I mean, who not? I mean, it's a scary question because I think that we don't really get an answer from maybe the school system, or the system does not answer this question. Then religion, I don't know. It does not really answer this question. For me, it didn't,
Hmm.
and I was like raised in normal Catholicism, and early I was interested in Buddhism and in Hinduism and in different spiritual like branches, and studied a lot and asked this question for myself. and still refining the answers because it's such a big question, and the answer you give on it is what is your identity. So if you say I'm human, you identify yourself with one dimension of yourself, but you are like a multi-dimensional being. So with being human, you are in another dimension, you are like energy, pure energy, pure potential, pure divinity, maybe. And so you see, you you are like everything. So what you can do or should do is to um, really think about who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? And choose who you want to be. Because society gave you some ideas. You are like a citizen, you are like a woman or a man, you are Swiss or you are like Thai or you're American or you're whatever. But these are all like labels that don't say anything about you. So now, if you go deeper, you can say, oh, I am loving, I am grateful, I am peaceful. And you see, this I am is the source of creation. And from this source of creation, you can create yourself. You create not only that you can, you do it the whole time. You create yourself when you choose what you like to identify with. I hope I could give like an introduction into the topic that help grasp that there is no simple answer to this question.
Yeah, you went pretty deep, probably for some people who heard this the first time. And I think all people are do need it from time to time. I just remembered one thing is like you either get assigned an identity, like you said, from the school, from your country, from your family, whatever, or you choose one. So if you don't choose, you actually get one assigned. And you may or may like it or not. You feel comfortable maybe for some time. Um, but the only way to be true you and free you is to actually choose it.
That's a very good thing that you're saying because most people, if they never thought about their identity, they have this like assigned identity that you're talking about. What is this assigned identity that society or the system wants you to have? What do you think? What's your take on
For
that?
ex- for example, you're kind of the worker or the victim. You don't have any power. You have to do what you have to do, and it's the way it is. And we are the way we are, and it has ever been like this. And I mean, I've always like questioned these standards because I realized it was like, yeah, that's maybe not true because I'm not like you. We're completely different, kind of. So
Yeah,
how can one solution fit all if everyone is kind of different? Maybe we are similar in some spaces, but we're not completely identical.
yeah. And I think there is like one identity that, I mean, at least I wanted um, to be or have or express for a long time in my life, and I'm still working on it to really get rid of this identity. And this is the identity of being a good person, being to fit in, to being normal, to uh, I think this is one of the things that holds us back the most. This identity of being a good person and being normal. Because if you look at the normal in our world, the normal is not what I want to embody and to live. And so, but as long as you think or try to be normal, I mean, you're really fucked when you try to be normal.
Actually, it could be quite a challenge to be normal because there's kind of no normal, but there's like this vision or this illusion of normal. But what is normal anyways? And everyone is different. I realized that when while traveling here and kind of flew out of everything. Um, I have a completely different flow and rhythm to work, to sleep, to eat when I'm like free. So if I decide when I do whatever I want, it's completely different than when it's like in a system or a job or anything. I'm lucky I don't have to do this anymore, so I can choose freely. But I realized that was the way to actually to more energy, to more fun, to more joy, more lightness. And it's a work in progress, so not finished, not there. Probably we never are. Um, we love to say there's always a next level.
Yeah.
Um, but it's about getting better and better every day. At least that what is what works for me. And also when we go back to the beginning topic of the dragon slaying, maybe you start with the small ones, not the crazy big one. And as you go up, you realize, oh, the small ones are nothing, so the big ones have to be nothing too. What's your point on that?
I love that. And so maybe the dragons, they too stand for the illusions, because you have to see the illusions, and then yeah, you just take them for what they are. They are illusions, and maybe you slay your own illusions, and you get closer truth to truth of who you really are, and what is really inside of you, what you are really capable of. And for that you have to get rid of all the illusions, rid of all this false programming, of all these paradigms that yeah, just hold you back because you try to fit in. And then it's like a process of liberation. And this is like like peeling an onion, maybe. Yeah,
Mm.
you start with what you see from the outside, and you get more and more to the core. So I don't know. Your question was if it's good to start with the small dragons and get to the big dragons. Maybe, maybe, and
maybe
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 you just take the dragons that you see, and yeah, there are no big and small dragons.
oh, I love that. So what you're saying is kind of there is no different size of the dragons, um, but you actually just work with what is present right now or what is
Yeah,
like next.
yeah. What you see, or you choose the size of the dragons. I mean, in the end, there is no big and small anyway. There is no big problem or small problem. There is no big goal or small goal. Everything just is. I mean, Einstein said that with his relativity theory, Then nothing is big and nothing is small. It's just what you compare it with.
Mm.
This is as well a universal law, the law of relativity. And if you really think about that, it's like stupid that we sometimes say, yeah, that's a big problem. That's, yeah, that's very hard. I mean, if there's no big and small, there is no hard and light too.
Mm.
So nothing is hard, nothing is light, except you make it because you choose it to be hard or light. And if you really listen to yourself and listen to people all day, we don't get it. We just don't get it that we create our reality with our thoughts, our words, our feelings, our actions all the time. And for me, sometimes it seems like we are in a sleep, in we are sleeping, and like uh is it called sleep wandling, schlafwandelen?
Sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking, exactly, sleepwalking, where you know these things, or at least many people heard about it, like Einstein's relativity theory. Many, like, intelligent or clever people heard about that, but we cannot use it practically. We don't know how to use it to reach our next level in whatever we want. But there it all starts to take back commands with the words we say, the thoughts we choose, the ideas, and maybe the identity that we choose to embody. So now we close the circle back to the identity. How can we use that for our advantage? This is what maybe I am obsessed with, to really see, okay, we know a lot of theory, we know a lot of things, or like superficial, we know everything, but we often don't know how to put the things together and how to put them into praxis. As you said before, practice means praxis. And
Mm.
praxis is, for me, to practically do what I theoretically know. And this is the key, to align our energy, our knowledge, our wisdom with our actions, our habits, and what we do. So we get congruent. We get in. There's another word I was looking for. Integrity.
Integrity.
Integrity. Integrity is to align our knowing, our consciousness with our way of life, and to really, that's what Mahatma meant when we said you have to be the change. You cannot think about the change and wish the change and hope for the change. You actually have to be the change. And
You
then
have to
everything around you starts to shift. So this is
live.
why I love you, seeing, going your way, and sharing yourself and putting yourself out there. And yes,
Yes, we walk the talk. So,
yeah,
and it's time for that. Perfect. Thank you very much for your explanations. Do you have like one tip for people maybe not that advanced, just starting out, maybe heard the question, who are you the first time? Before we close these things up, one tip or two to what's the next level for them?
Start reflecting on it. Start writing your thoughts down. Start observing yourself. Observing your inner world. Maybe start a journal to write down your thoughts and getting a little bit closer to the essence of who you really are every day a little bit more. It's just about being present and practice. And yeah, just follow this, or start to follow again this tiny voice from your higher self, or you can call it intuition, or just try to follow every day a little bit more your own inner voice instead of the distractions and everything outside of you. Try to follow a little bit your inner guidance and living a little bit more from the inside out and expressing and sharing who you really are. That's a good place to start.
Beautiful. Thank you very much for your insight. It was a pleasure having you and like doing this format with you. I have to say, I enjoyed it. We can do this
I
again.
enjoyed it. I enjoyed it too. Thank you very much.
Thank, thank you for being a guest. And if you're watching now or listening and you kind of need a guide or something because it's like follow your inner guidance, yeah, it's kind of new to me. Um, I'll put something in the show notes. It's my flow hack guide, how to find out what your natural rhythm is, which basically means the same, like follow your inner guidance, follow your inner rhythm um, to be the best and the most true you. So thank you very much and hear you next time.